people, and a person who had gone from a small town and a lot of different challenges in his life to becoming at 21 when he was killed. At 21, one of the individuals at the FBI and so forth feared him. And why did they fear him? They feared him because of the truth. They feared him because of organizing ability. They feared him because he wanted to transform his community. And they feared him because, most importantly, he was bringing people together. I have been said here, and I've said in some meetings where people might say things like, oh, you're a black Muslim, you're a South Asian Muslim, you're a Middle Eastern Muslim. And the reality is, and I said it last night at the demonstration, I said all who have submitted to the will of God have accepted the fact that they are Muslims and that they are brothers and sisters under the will of God. And this is what we have to understand. When you say things like that, you build bridges and you build a relationship to bring people together. And that is what repressive institutions and actions fear the most. Because you can combine your financial sources, you can combine your intellect, you can combine your spiritual strength, you can combine your tactical understanding of how covert repressive operations work. And I'm going to conclude with this. I want to say that in terms of personal history, and I want to go down very specifically and reiterate how this happens. In every institute, in every situation since the formation of a number of federal organizations, there has been the attempt to find individuals who go into organizations, present themselves as very zealous, be very concerned about anyone who asks you to do something criminal. Be very concerned about anyone who asks you to do something to massively increase your financial wealth by some unsuspecting manner. In the case at hand, here you have a situation where a particular outlet, a building, is operated by the very institution that says it's trying to prevent the criminal activity that ultimately they will part of. Does that confuse you? It certainly confuses me. I think it will come out in court in terms of finding out what's happening. But that is not once again the first time that has happened. Be aware of anyone who attempts to force you into a situation or even suggest a violent scenario where in fact they're going to precipitate it. I've had situations like that presented to me and always have had the ability to deal with it. The other thing I want to say is this, is that there are things that have happened that have brought us to this point. And I think we should be grateful that we're able to sit here tonight. I think we should be concerned about the loss of the family. But I think we should be grateful that we can sit and have this discussion today. I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity to talk to you about the history of what has happened. I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity to share with you that we are one no matter what anyone else says. I'm so glad that I'm able to see that the entire world is watching what is happening here. I'm so glad that we can look at the situation where we understand that there are covert operations that are planned, not happenstance, that are planned whenever people find a way to come together to change their repression. And for those of you who were born here in the United States of America, they would say that you're a black Muslim. I heard that term and I really sent shockwaves through me. I'm sorry. For one who's on radio, I'm talking off mic. He said, you're a black Muslim. And I raised the question, I said, I don't even know what that term means. I thought that if you were a Muslim, it didn't matter what color you were. But this is a terminology that is being used and that is being approached out there. We are in an age of information. Whenever you hear anything like that, in our organizations, we have to challenge it. We have to challenge that through dealing with those outlets. We have to challenge it through presenting our own information. We have to challenge it immediately. We have to get our information out, because if we don't, the lies become the truth. And we become victims of the lies. So, in closing, my brothers and sisters, I have to say this. We in the Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality, certainly the national lawyers still stand ready to assist, and I have to concur with this, that we have to build a strong legal contract, that you need the legal help that many of you cannot afford, and that's what we want to build. That you need the help in the community that many of you may not know of or may not have right now. And I'm saying to this because I've challenged the Christians and others. I've said to them, if you think that you're going to miss this possibility of this happening to you, you have missed what is happening in America at this particular point. They come for me today, they come for you tonight. It used to be, we come for you tomorrow. It's a faster time today. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to say this. Be ever vigilant, and I want to close with this one thing. I kept saying I want to close. But the KGB had a term called mice. And he said, how do you control an organization? One, with money, or to do something with money, whether it is improperly gained or otherwise. The other one was indiscretion. Anything where you put yourself in a situation where you compromise. 3, with sex, because they realize that, in effect, individuals can be compromised by relationships. And finally, with ego, by presenting one's ego. And all of you in this audience tonight, as we talk about things from a spiritual perspective, know that that is the struggle that you have all the time to deal with those particular things. And if we deal with those effectively, there is no repressive, covert institution that is unified with our entire communities, no matter what our backgrounds and foregrounds are. We will be able to successfully deal with covert operations and repression, because then we will be able to isolate them, because they're the minority and we're the majority.
Before we open up the questions, I know that Brother Umar also wanted to give you a different account of what the MCI is saying publicly in regards to what happened in the warehouse. Before we get to that, I'd like to make an acknowledgement and a comment. First, I'd like to acknowledge our imams who are here under the Imams Committee of the CIO and the Council of Islamic Organizations of Michigan. They released a statement. It was a statement that was written up, and it was a statement by the imams in this section of Michigan demanding for an independent investigation into the death and the killing of Imam Luqman. And many of these imams are here today. Sheikh Ali Suleiman Ali from Canton, Sheikh Ali Leila, IUD, Sheikh Mustafa Turk, Iona Moore, who is the co-chair of the Imams Committee, Sheikh Abdulatif Azum from Masjid al-Falah, and also the chairman of CIO, Brother Khalid Beg is here. I just wanted to say that you all can recognize that there are Muslim leaders outside of the African American community who are taking this situation seriously. It's important for you to understand. Secondly, when Brother Ron was talking about covert actions and COINTELPRO, I've done, obviously he's much more learned than I am in this situation, not only academically, but experientially, because he was a victim himself of COINTELPRO when he was in the party. From my reading though, and I think it's something for us to need to understand in regards to this nationwide phenomenon that are going on in houses of worship. In COINTELPRO, as today, Neo-COINTELPRO, there's 2 types of people who come